Hello everyone, it's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Chatterbox. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's doing fine. Enjoying the Sunday afternoon, guys, where I am. I hope everyone's doing good. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. Really appreciate it, of course, guys. Thank you very much. Yeah, look, you know what? It's going to be another one of those, isn't it? One of those days where Man United not getting their targets. People are going to be panicking. You know what? One thing I would say is that Gyökeres was never guaranteed. We did say that Gyökeres was never going to be guaranteed, of course. As much as we wanted Gyökeres to come to Manchester United, he was never going to be guaranteed. And the one thing that I would say is that Arsenal have not made a bid for Gyökeres. So if that does go pear-shaped, where do we go from there? If Arsenal don't bid for Gyökeres, are we going to go in for Gyökeres? Are we going to go? Are we going to go back? Will we go back? Personally, I don't think we should. I think once it's done, it's done. I think he's rejected Man United, snubbed Man United. So once that is done, we should just move on. That's what I firmly believe. I think move on. Let's not go back there, in my opinion. Even though some people admire him. In regards to getting our full fifth, sixth choice striker, at the end of the day, Mbeumo and Cunha were high on the list of Man United. Man United wanted Mbeumo. Mbeumo's coming to Man United. I'm pretty certain about that. You know what? That is something I'm sure about, that Mbeumo will be playing for Manchester United next season. We should be hearing more tomorrow. And obviously, whilst the window is open, we'll be hearing a lot more about these players coming to Manchester United, not just in regards to Mbeumo, but also in regards to striker as well. So that's important to understand that, you know what, there are strikers out there. There are equally as good strikers out there. Osimhen, for me, is one of my favourites. At the beginning of the window, Osimhen was my favourite. Osimhen was my favourite striker. But you know what? And at the end of the day, he still is up there for me. If we miss out on Osimhen, then it starts to get a little bit, nervy in regards to strikers that are available. When they've been at a time where there's not many strikers available in Europe. When you think about it, there's not many in the world in regards to that. Not like when I was raised, and there used to be loads of strikers available. There always were strikers available. Nowadays it's very, very slim pickings in regards to the striker situation. Osimhen is one of the standout candidates to fill that void in regards to Gyökeres. Of course, I would like Osimhen. Osimhen would be brilliant. It would be a very, very impactful signing for Manchester United. But are Manchester United going for him? Are we going in for him? But rumor is Man United are in for Osimhen. They are, subject to popular belief. People telling me that no, we're not in for him. We are in for Victor Osimhen. The problem is that Osimhen is wanted by other clubs as well around Europe. He's wanted up to 10 clubs, including PSG. And believe it or not, Real Madrid have also been rumored to be interested in Osimhen as well. So that is very interesting as well, So it's going to be difficult. Obviously, I believe that Osimhen is a Manchester United fan. That could play a part. But obviously, we know that football, there's no loyalty. Look at Quenda. Look at Gyökeres. There's no loyalty at the end of the day. The one thing about Gyökeres, he better hope that Arsenal bid for him, because if they don't bid for him, someone's going to look like a prat, isn't it, at the end of the day, guys? Let's get into it, guys. Thank you, everyone who's joining me this afternoon. Big up, everyone. Of course, big up Lucky Singh. Big up Kazi, brother. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Big up Jim. What's going on, my friend? Jim D64. Hope you're doing well, mate. Good to see you, mate. Good to see MUC forever. Big up yourself. How you doing? Long time no see, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything is well with you. Stephanie. Big up, Stephanie. How are you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. I'm not panicking, but just concerned about our transfer activity. That's panicking, isn't it, Kenny? That's panicking. That's a little bit of panicking. Look, the transfer activity hasn't even started. Man United haven't really got into the nitty-gritty of the transfer window yet. The transfer window isn't even open. The proper transfer window has not opened yet. In regards to Gyökeres, this is the player that we've missed out on, most likely. All right. And we were never guaranteed Gyökeres. Gyökeres at the beginning of the window, the first to the 10th window, which isn't the proper window, was always seemed as a pipe dream, so to be. Could we get Gyökeres? You haven't got Champions League football. I think we all agreed before the Europa League final that if we get in the Champions League, then obviously there's a possibility we get Gyökeres. But we didn't get Champions League. So, look, getting a player like Matata, getting a player like Osimhen, getting a player like Katike, that's great. But for now, I don't think it's really any point moaning about it. I don't think there's any point crying about it. I don't think there's any point blaming people about it. What we need to do is basically just wait and see what happens at the end of the window and where we are. The 1st of September is when the window shuts. Of course, I want the players before the preseason game on the 19th of July. That would be fantastic, so we can work on systems, tactics, etc. But what I would say is that I'm not going to panic, because I tell you one thing about me, right? I tell you one thing. I have no expectations, so I'm not panicking. I have no expectations in regards to Ineos. I have nothing because I've already told people that at the end of the day, we're not a full sell. We're run by Ineos. We're run by greed. And that is what it is, and they're going to be penny pinching to the end of time, and I'm not going to be too worried about that. What I would do, however, I will hold people accountable. Of course, I'm going to hold them accountable if they don't get the players that we want in, if we don't get the players. Getting Mbeumo, getting Cunha is great. That's a great start. Getting those two players is a great start. We cannot lie. That's a good start for Manchester United. But we need a striker. We need a midfielder. We need a right wing back. We need a goalkeeper, And speaking of goalkeepers, Onana was asked during international duty by media if he is staying at Manchester United next season. He goes, I don't know. We have to wait and see. So what does that tell you about Onana? Is Onana staying at Manchester United? Will he be a Manchester United goalkeeper next season? Personally, what I don't think we're going to get the deal done for Onana to leave. I think Onana will stay another season. I think he will leave next season. Obviously, Ruben Amorim, as much as we do need Onana to leave, we do need Onana to leave the football club because I do believe we need a better goalkeeper. No offense to Onana. I like the guy, but he's just not the goalkeeper going forward for Man United. But what I would say is that I don't think Man United are going to change the goalkeeper this season. Maybe if we do a deal with Aston Villa for Emi Martinez, will be absolutely fantastic. But I'm on that little bit of a wave where I think that, you know what, we haven't even got the striker in yet. We're just about getting Mbeumo in. What's going on with that? Because our biggest problem last season was scoring goals. And, we need to get a striker in 120,000%. Kazi, the only person who looks silly of Arsenal rejected him, then he'll look like a right old mug. He would, Kazi. At the end of the day, he's the one who's gone to media. And this is one thing I don't like, right? Okay, you want to go to Asna. You want to go to Asna, right? That's fine. You want to go there. That's fine. All the best to you, mate. But why do you have to go to the media and try and disrespect? Why do you have to go to the media and say, I want to go to Arsenal? You're not R9, bruv. You're not CR7, bruv. What are you going on about at the end of the day? Listen, I don't, he's made enemies here, and to be honest with you, he shouldn't have done that. He should have just said, look, sign for Arsenal. That's it. Rather than making all that noise. And then we all know where this is coming from. We all know this is coming from his stupid agent. His agent. His agent is the problem. And we know about his agent. His agent is obviously the Turkish fella, of course, which is an absolute nightmare of an agent, or Frankie de Jong, isn't he? Jim, afternoon, Kazi, big up, Jim, big up. Did you hear Sal, Manchester United is pursuing Ekitike? They are impossible. Yeah, we've been talking about him, MEOC. If you haven't been here at MEOC, we've been talking about him quite intensively. We haven't only been talking about Ekitike from yesterday and day before yesterday. We've been talking about Ekitike for 6 months, MEOC, forever. So that's about it. Ask Tyborg in the chat. We've been talking about him for 6 months. We've been going on about him for a long time. Man United have been interested in Hugo Ekitike for 6 months. But as the problem with Ekitike is the price tag. Ekitike is going to be more than Victor Osimhen. Ekitike is going to be more than Gyökeres. Ekitike is younger. He's 22. Okay, given. That's fair enough. But that does represent a risk, to be honest, doesn't it? If we do get Ekitike, I'm not going to cry about it. I think that's great. We got a striker in there and a striker who's proven to score goals in a competitive league. So, look, I wouldn't worry too much about that. I would much rather Ekitike than a Sesko. Because Sesko's only scored 13 goals in 33 appearances in the Bundesliga this season. So I would much rather a Ekitike than a Sesko, in my opinion. But obviously, ultimately, we want the best. And ultimately, we want players who are proven to score tens of goals in leagues. For example, Osimhen, he's done it in France, he's done it in Italy, and he's done it in Turkey. So that's no mugs. He's no mug. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, he's proven to score goals in various leagues. As with Gyökeres, it's just Sporting, couple of goals in the Champions League. He's done well in the Champions League. He's scored a hat-trick against Man City. Fair enough. But in regards to Osimhen, out of all the players that we're going to be linked with, Osimhen is probably the most proven player that we could get. And I feel like Man United should try and get Osimhen, because that'll be like kind of cancelling out all the doubt, cancelling out all the, is he going to be that guy though? If we spend 100 million on Ekitike, 100 million euros on Ekitike, and he flops, it's going to be another one of those, isn't it? It's going to be another one of those Rasmus Højlund situations where we're going to be like, oh, for goodness sake, should have just got an experienced striker in there. Should have just paid the money for Osimhen. And, we don't want any more expensive mistakes. Man United can't afford expensive mistakes, of course. Absolutely. Huge congrats on Leathergate, sir. Thank you so much, Stephanie. This is just the beginning, Stephanie. We're not stopping. They ain't stopping for nobody. We're going to keep moving, Stephanie. Next destination is 20,000 subscribers. Stephanie, thank you. Everything you've done, every single person who's contributed to a Stretford post over this last year. It's only been a year I've been doing live content, guys. I used to do pre-recorded content and stuff like that. Check out my playlist, the interview playlist. I've interviewed some great people, you know, and from all different worlds, you know, from ex-Liverpool players to WWE wrestlers. Check them out, guys. The interviews I've done on this channel. But I thank every single person in this community. They've been absolutely fantastic and supported the channel throughout. Absolutely. Some of them are still here. Goodness me. Some of them fell off. But some of them are still here, thankfully. Of course. Natty. Good afternoon, Sal. How are you? Everything is fine, brother. We have to sign Embremo first and then target proven strikers. This is the thing, isn't it? At the end of the day, the Embremo deal is almost done, in my opinion. Basically, we just have to sort out the finer details. Tottenham, I pulled away from that deal. He wants Manchester United. That's confirmed from Ben Jacobs. But then, you know, this is the whole thing about media, right? Embremo was wanted by Tottenham at the beginning of the window. He was wanted by Tottenham when we first went for Embremo. Everyone knows that. Obviously, it has been highlighted because of the fact that Thomas Frank has gone to Tottenham, and then they put 2 and 2 together and got 7. You know, this is what it is at the end of the day, you know. But he does want Man United. He's openly said he wants Manchester United. And this is exactly the thing. When you openly say that you want a football club, for example, when Gyökeres says, I want Arsenal, you know what? He can't come back to Man United and say, no, actually, I want Man United now. Forget you. He's not going to do that. Man United are a respectful football club. I know we don't act like it recently, but Man United are a respectful football club. And we can't be, you know what I mean, going back on sloppy seconds. All right, you're not going to go for Arsenal if Arsenal don't bid for you. Apparently, the price tag is a little bit higher for Arsenal. So there you go. Apparently, it's going up to 73 million with all add-ons and things like that. I mean, come on, guys. You know what I mean? It's starting to get ridiculous with that. Agents can ruin a career. And, you know, someone said on the chats today, oh, well, agents are part of football. Agents, Sir Alex Ferguson spoke about agents, you know, many, many times about how agents can ruin a footballer, how it adds ego. An agent actually destroyed, was it Mino Raiola? God rest his soul, by the way. Mino Raiola, who I've spoken to, who I've actually interviewed, you know, a couple of times. Mino Raiola was a Pogba guy. You know, it was a Pogba. And I think he ruined Pogba, so to speak. He ruined him. And I think that is obviously a big thing, you know, with agents. It depends what agent you got. Pedro Mendes has always got on with Manchester United. Someone like that, they're good, you know, and they're good around Man United. But this obviously agent of Gyökeres is a bit of a problem, of course. Absolutely, of course. Big up. MSC forever. Gyökeres choosing Arsenal is in finish without a trophy. Exactly, MSC forever. You know what I mean? They think it's all because Arsenal play better football. Arsenal are more settled club. Doesn't mean they're going to win anything. This is what I'm talking about when people are talking about Arsenal going to win the league now. Arsenal going to win the Champions League now because they've added a striker. Football doesn't work like that. Football is not as simplistic as that. It's not. I know lots of people think that, oh, now that they've got, maybe it improves them as a team. I don't think they're going to win anything next season. The most they probably win is, but maybe if they win an FA Cup or something. They're not winning the Champions League. They're not winning the league. Man City are strengthened heavily. Liverpool have strengthened heavily. You know, Chelsea are going to strengthen heavily. Well, they bought Liam Delap. I don't know if that, but you know what I mean? And Man United are going to strengthen heavily. I like to bring us into the situation because I believe we have strengthened heavily. I think if Man United getting Buemo Cunha and getting a striker, I think Man United are in a good position, especially if we get a new goalkeeper. You're going to see a completely different Manchester United next season. Believe it, guys. I know it's hard to believe at the moment, but I believe we will see a different Man United next season. Absolutely. Yanni, what's going on, my friend? Sal, the window opens with maybe in Buemo happens. Yeah, don't expect it straight away, but it is going to happen. It is, I mean, we're almost done with that. Of course, the window's shut, so we couldn't make any moves. So people obviously been throwing their rattles at their pram a little bit too intensively. You know what I mean? Some people blaming me. What I got to do with it? At the end of the day, you know what I mean? We're won by Ineos. I did want Qatar, but you know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know what I mean? Someone said on their Facebook, you know what? You know, everything Muslims touch, you know, turns to ish. Yeah, I couldn't believe that what I said when I read that. I was like, what? Who we run by? Who are we run by? Who are we run by? We're run by Americans. What have they touched? They touched Man United and we turn to crap. Everything that Qatar have touched is turned to gold as far as I'm concerned. PSG, Abu Dhabi, UAE, Man City. You know what I mean? These people are just crazy. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So what I would say is that, yeah, look, don't expect Mbeumo straight away. It's not going to happen ultimately like that on Monday. We got him. That's it. You know what I mean? And, it could happen next week sometime. We're going to get a lot more news, that's for certain, because the window opens. We can do business this week, of course. Helge, good morning. Good afternoon, good evening. Hope you're doing well. The more I think of it, it will actually be a bit angry and annoyed if we don't sign Osimhen. He's 100% going to Galatasaray if it's not United. We can't let that happen to lose the world. It's funny, Helge, though, he is wanted by more than Galatasaray. He's wanted by PSG. He's wanted by Chelsea. He's wanted by Liverpool. And sneaking in the background, Real Madrid as well. Just to let you know, guys, how serious they are in regards to that. It is another story. But you know what? I agree with Helge. We should be pushing for that deal and fighting for that deal now. No, we're not going to get Gyökeres. We said it a few weeks ago. If we don't get Gyökeres, many of us predicted this, didn't we? We predicted we might not get Gyökeres. We predicted we might not get him. So we said if we don't get Gyökeres, if Gyökeres is giving us the runaround, if he's messing us about, go and get Osimhen. Simple as that. Go and do it. Get it done. Goodness me, he's playing for Galatasaray. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, absolutely. Randy, good afternoon. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Mbeumo also told Spurs he's full default. Yep. I know. See, I told you guys a long time ago. I think Matata might stay at Palace. They are in Europe. It could be. Man United is a big pool, though, isn't it? Palace is not going to do anything in Europe. George, let's say if it ends up Osimhen signs, if Palace do qualify for Europe, they might be banned. Osimhen signs for Galatasaray and we sign Mateta, I will get angry. Not because Mateta is poor, but losing a World Cup striker like Osimhen to take a... Yeah, look, I feel the same, Held. And what does that tell you at the end of the day? Listen, guys, look, you know what I do? I look at things in a way that you have to be intelligent. You have to be intelligent in life. You know what I mean? Because you can throw your rattles at your pram, you scream and shout and stuff like that. If Ineos get the signings, let's for example, if Ineos get Mbeumo, if Ineos get Osimhen, they've got Cunha, if they get a goalkeeper, then we're going to have to say, well done, Ineos. Especially if they manage to get rid of some players as well. I would love us to get a midfielder. I would love us to get a Wharton. I would love us to get an Edison, someone of that ilk. You know, that would be fantastic, but I don't think that's going to happen. You know, I think that a lot of work will be done next summer. But if they do that, you have to show absolute respect and stuff like that. But obviously, that comes by proving it. At the moment, all we've seen is PR. We've seen Berardi PR. We're not going to pay that money. We're not going to do this. Man United are not in a position to be nitpicking. Man United are the biggest club in the world, top two, and we're nitpicking. You know, we're nitpicking about things and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And we need a big rebuild. What is this big rebuild? At the end of the day, come on, prove to us that you want this. Prove to us that you don't just want a regeneration project in Manchester. Prove to us that you want Manchester United to be on top of the tree in a footballing sense. Absolutely. Natty, our problem, we are working with one deal at a time. We have to be flexible. This is the problem. Man United have had this problem for many, many years. Man United have always worked on one deal at a time. And this has been the problem. I thought, given the way that we have Ineos now, with obviously Vivell and Wilcox and Berardi and obviously, who's the other guy? Vivell, Wilcox, Berardi. Yeah, those guys, Jim Ratcliffe. And just you know, at the end of the day, I thought we'd be a little bit more quicker. That's not to say that we are. We are not working on two deals at a time. Who knows? We might be. Personally, I think we're going to get a shot, guys. But remember this, what I told you, right? Remember what I told you after Europa League final. Man United, there will be a shock. There will be a shock. And you're going to see that shock. And you're going to be like, what? Trust me. Trust me on that one. There's going to be a day when you go, Man United have killed it. That's what's going to happen. And we're going to get a couple of players through the door, a double signing, and you're going to be like, wow. But even that is not going to be enough. And I know that. Right? Even that's not going to be enough. You know, we still need more. We need to move on and keep fighting and fighting. Liverpool won the league and they're improving their squad. Liverpool won the league and they've got Frimpong, Kirkes and Florian Wirtz. We need to be on that level, guys. We really do. Absolutely. Darwin Núñez, no thank you, mate. Absolutely. They can have him, keep him. He's not coming to Liverpool to Man United anyway. So, absolutely. Yolani, Onana needs to be replaced. That's all what I'm saying for. Big up, Yolani. Hello, Sanjay. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. There's no good reason for us to miss out on Ozil, only if Real Madrid or someone else buys him, or Saudi astronomical wages. I mean, he's rejected Saudi, right? But Real Madrid are slightly interested in Osimhen at the moment. It is new. It is, guys, you heard it here first. Real Madrid are interested in Osimhen, by the way. And let's not sugarcoat that, because that is pretty serious. In regards to that as well, Liverpool are interested in Osimhen. Chelsea are interested in Osimhen. PSG are interested in Osimhen. So look, what do Man United need to do? Can we cry about it? No, we just need to get to work and try and get it done. That's what we need to do. Just get this done. Let's stop messing about, in my opinion. Absolutely. MC Forever. Biasa, I have to go to a meeting with office today. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. Take it easy, mate. Single-handedly took us to the Champions League and cost us a Europa. Absolutely. But no one wants to say that. It cost us Europa League final. Yeah. Go for Osimhen, full stop. Yep. It's my favourite. Losing to Galatasaray for Osimhen is mad. Man United won't lose to Galatasaray. Galatasaray can't afford Osimhen. Let me tell you right now. They can't afford Osimhen. They can't afford his wages. Galatasaray have never paid that amount of wages on a player. Never. You know what I mean? So if they're going to do that, it'll be a turn up for the books in regards to their history because they've never done that. If Man United really, truly want Osimhen, they have to act now. But Chelsea, Liverpool, Real Madrid, PSG want Osimhen as well. So what do we need to do? We need to get a step on. And that's what we need to do and start moving and get things done because we're going to lose out more on other players, of course. Emirates, what's going on? Man United's ambitious less. Why are taking long to do so? And Bremo deal. We lose in Bremo and Jokeris. We're not going to use in Bremo and Jokeris. And this is another thing about the panic thing and looking at things in a logical way. It has been the window. 1st to the 10th was the transfer window, right? That was it. Right. Then we had no one could sign anything for a few days. So no deals has been done. So there's nothing going on in regards to a business sense, right? Once the window, it opens tomorrow. This is what I'm talking about. This is why people are thinking, oh my God, why isn't it done? Let's hope that it gets done within the next week or so. Hopefully we get some good news in regards to that. Here we go or something. Because you know what? The fan base are getting a little bit disgruntled, a little bit fidgety. I don't blame them. Of course, we have a bad record in regards to players and stuff like that. We have a reason to be nervous. I agree with that. But for me, as an experienced Manchester United fan of 40 years, you know what? I see. I'm looking at, you know what? Just be calm. Just be calm. And let's see what they do. Because I don't want to end up with egg on my face. I don't want to come in on July the 1st and they've signed bloody Embremo and they've signed Osimhen and they've signed a goalkeeper and probably a midfielder. And then people say, see, I told you they've done that. I told you they're going to do that. I'm not going to get in that. But what I will do is if it gets to the end of June, like I've always said, I'm not going to flip-flop. It's not the end of the June. Last time I heard, it's not the end of June. So I'm not going to flip-flop on that, right? I'm going to say at the end of June, if they've not done the business, I'm not saying they will. I'm not saying they won't. I never said that. I said, I'll wait to June and then let's see what happens then. We go from there. I'm not saying they're going to do well. I'm not saying they're going to do bad. Let's just see where we are at the end of June, 1st of July. And then we're going to see where we are, and then I'll make my judgment. Because I'm not going to make my judgment. I believe everyone innocent until proven guilty at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? And I believe that. I believe in that. And let's see what they do, come July the 1st, of course. Randy, big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. Pay up for Osimhen. You don't get quality for cheap. I agree. Last comment about it, but it's ridiculous to have the option a summer to get option swearing. Helge, be careful for a good one. We can't lose that opportunity, especially when Napoli wants Ghana as well. No brainer. Osimhen is the next choice. Hoyge. And to be honest with you, it was always like this with Jokeris and Osimhen. It was always like this. It was always in a balance which one I liked. Which one is the good one? Personally, I wanted Osimhen, right? It was just the only thing that lured us towards Jokeris is obviously the Ruben Amorim effect. But I think that Osimhen would be great at Man United. And I think we need to get the deal done. I believe that there will be news about that. I believe Man United will bring in a striker. But Man United are interested in more than one striker. This is the thing. So we're going to have to wait and see, of course, guys. Absolutely. The wrap-up Haven, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Can't waste dough on Ekitike, who's just potential. Sorry. That's your opinion, wrap-up Heaven. I kind of agree with you, mate. I think the money for Ekitike is astronomical. But let me tell you this, right? Wrap-up Haven, right? Let me tell you this. In this scenario, if Man United miss out on Osimhen, if Man United don't get Mateta, who would be your striker option? There's not many out there, is it? Who would you go for? If we don't get Osimhen, we don't get Mateta, who would be your striker option? Would you go after Ekitike then? Would you go after him then? Or do we just leave that out and just not sign a striker? Absolutely. Listen, Jokeris haven't said anything. He is still on vacation. He only did an update on the Insta he wrote. But no, he did do something, Ellen. Sorry, Ellen. I have to correct you. He did do something. He got his agent to say he's only interested in Arsenal. He got his agent to do that. And that is on various outlets, media outlets, Portuguese outlets, everywhere. He did. There's no smoke without fire. No one made that crap up. He did say that he would like to move to Arsenal. He's interested in the project. That has been said by respectable journalists, Ellen. You know, Ornstein, Fabrizio, Ben Jacobs. There's no smoke without fire. It's the truth. Absolutely. Osman will pay himself selling jerseys. Yes, I agree with that, Randy. He would. He all around the world. I mean, can you imagine Osman jerseys selling in Nigeria? You know what I mean? Amazing. At the end of the day. Rapper Haven, Osman, I would take, but his wage demands are ridiculous. At the moment, he stands. He wants 250k a week after tax, which can't run. You pay for the best. Unfortunately, Rapper Haven. Who else are we going to get who's going to score goals? This is the thing, isn't it? You know, we either do that or we don't. You know, we either get a proper proven striker or we don't get a proven striker. We just get Mitrovic or someone like that, because who else is there at the moment who we can get? Don't tell me Jonathan David. There's lots of problems with Jonathan David. He's a big issue. That's why no one else is going for him. You know, and there are, who else can we get at the end of the day? And that's the biggest issue, what I would say. Do you think this news will come from your carers or in the agent driven? It's agent driven, but it's a collaboration between your carers and the agent. The agent is a mouthpiece for your carers. So basically the agent instigates it, he manipulates it, and he spreads it. You know what I mean? That's what he does. So they are both to blame. The agent should never have opened his mouth. And people could say he didn't say that. The agent said that. And he's a mouthpiece of your carers. So once the agent says things like that, and I know that I'm experienced in football. I work in football, guys. I've spoken to big journalists on this show, big journalists in my time. I've had dinners with major journalists, major agents as well, big agents. Do you know what I mean? There is no smoke without fire. Once someone like Fabrizio Romano, Ben Jacobs, Ornstein start talking about these things all at once, there is definitely a plant. There's definitely a plant, and that plant comes from the agent of your carers. Your carers won't personally come out and say, I only want Arsenal, to be honest. He's not going to do that. He's going to use his agent to do that. And let's be honest, the agent of your carers has been doing this kind of thing for many, many years. He's done the same with, obviously, Frankie de Jong. And we spent all summer, you remember, chasing Frankie de Jong, of course. HG, hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Rapper Haven, big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. Big up Haven, my friend. A random question, but what do you think about Leon? I like very much of what I see of him. He reminds me of Munoz from Palace, South American aggressive beast, backup for Dorgu or Amas. Leon is Munoz. Munoz is more of a right back, isn't he? He's a right wing back. Very impressed with him in the FA Cup final. Absolutely superb. This is what I'm talking about, though, Helge. Scouting. Diego Leon is going to be that guy. No one's seen Diego Leon yet. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know, Diego Leon is going to be that guy. Diego Leon is a beast. Diego Leon is going to start off in the youth team, right? Just for like precautionary. So he will be in the youth team and then he'll be moving up. Dorgu is more of a left back. I don't see Dorgu as a right back. I really don't. And I don't like inverted right backs. I think Man United need a right back. In regards to Munoz, very good player, but Man United are playing a different way. Man United are playing a Vanderson sort of way. I like Vanderson. I think Man United should chase Vanderson. But obviously, let's try and get this one step at a time, isn't it? You know, and try and get this striker and then Bremo through the door, isn't it? At the end of the day. Facts. We just need players who want to play for the club, not for the money. Absolutely. But then again, if you do that, you're going to end up with nobody. You know what I mean? At the same time. He was Latan's agent as well. Hence, we got them both. Yeah, big up. A weird suggestion, by the way. I obviously have lost faith in Anthony, but he was always good defensive, not offensive. He's quick, strong, and Quenda, who is for Amro right wing back, similar qualities. That's true, Helge, but there's a reason why Anthony doesn't play for Man United, and let me tell you, Helge. He was in training with Ruben Amram. Ruben Amram said, I want you to do the right wing back position. He told Ruben Amram to F off. All right? So once we do this, right, this is an exclusive for you guys, right? Once we do, if we start playing a player who doesn't want to play there, who doesn't have the professionalism to play there, then we're going to have a problem, isn't it? Because he doesn't want to play there. And if he doesn't want to play there, then you know what? He's not much use to Manchester United, and then might as well just get the money from him. Ichichi, please, Mr. Sal, we silly point out, don't need your carers using United as an option. Rubbish. United should go for Osman, you a big club, and stop messing around with the player. I want Osman as well. Ichichi, I've told you. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Arsenal are second, United are 15th. You don't need to tell us, Lucky Singh, because at the end of the day, we know. But how many trophies did Arsenal win last season? The same as Manchester United. Let's forget about that at the end of the day. How many trophies has Arsenal won in the last 5 years? Are you a Man United supporter or are you a prat? I think you're a prat, mate. Don't bring that into the show. Manchester United didn't even bid for your carers. Exactly, Yandy. We haven't bid for your carers. But this is the whole thing about disrespect, isn't it? This is the whole thing about disrespect. I feel like what has happened is disrespectful. It didn't need to go to the media. It could have been quiet. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Absolutely. Why is Ekatike still going? We are struggling financially. We're not struggling financially. Don't fall for that old chestnut. Natty, there is no evidence of Arsenal will win it. Liverpool and City will be there. They know how to win Premier League. Natty, I don't think Arsenal are going to win anything next season. Absolutely. At the end of the day, Lucky Singh, we don't care. You said that already, mate. You're repeating yourself. Are you a bit like slow, Lucky Singh? I don't know if you're slow, but you repeat yourself, mate. You do know you can write more than 2 sentences on this thing. You can write a few things, but if you're carrying on giving us, oh, you know what, respect your carer's decision. We respect your carer's decision when the respect goes both ways. At the end of the day. If you want to go to Arsenal, go to Arsenal. Don't need to go in the media with your silly agent and start speaking about Man United, because that is disrespectful at the end of the day. And if you don't understand that, perhaps you just support someone else. Yelge, I think if we could get Diego Leas on loan, it's hard stretch, but I can see Casemiro, Cunha, Douglas Luiz and Anthony having a click. Mood and culture can change things. I don't think so, but it's a good food for thought. I don't think Anthony will be at Man United. He's disrespected the club at the end of the day. Why is Man United looking for a ticket? Yeah, read that one. Arteta loves Havertz. Joker is not guaranteed playing football. Could be problematic. Big up, Jim. Could be. You never know. Could be. At the end of the day. Hi, Sal. Big up, big boy. Guns, what's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. At the end of the day. Good to see you. You're getting blocked now. Sorry. Putting him in a timeout. You're calling us little boys for saying for talking about your carers. You're a little boy, and whoever agrees with Lucky Sim is a little boy, mate. You know what I mean? There's a little boy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just coming on here telling about 1,000 bloody messages of the same bloody crap. Do you know what I mean? He's just talking an absolute duds, mate. Big up, Lucky, big boy. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Helge, you're spot on. Absolutely. Helge is always spot on. Helge is my guy, of course. Hope you're right. There'll be a shock. Big up Malps. There will be. Don't worry about that. We will be there when your curse flop. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I don't agree with spinning plates are happening. It's normal procedure. I believe most signings will be done the week of July. Could be because of the financial year, 1st of July. But what happens is, Rap Haven, I've worked in this industry a very long time. You know, I'm not just sitting there with my Man United cap on and pretending. I actually do it for a living. That's why I'm here. You know, so one thing I would say is that you should hear positive noises by the end of June. You should know relatively what's going to be happening by the end of June. Absolutely. Osman will go home. I agree with you, Randy. I think Osman we should be fighting tooth for now to get Osman. You know what I mean? Yorkshire Cowboy, Sal, the title, don't get me giddy. Onana out, please. He will be. I mean, he didn't clarify. The thing is, he didn't clarify at the end of the day that he's going to stay. He was asked, are you going to stay at Man United next season? He did not clarify anything. You know what I mean? He did not clarify anything. So there you go. Let me read this out. Rap Haven, they need to have their ducks in order so they can just move on to the next target lined up. I'm cool with it. No panic. But obviously, people have a right to panic. I'm not going to tell people how to feel because at the end of the day, people are annoyed. And people have every right to be annoyed. This is up to them, isn't it, at the end of the day? I'm not panicking myself. I don't feel like a need. I do know about the 1st of fiscal year, of the 1st of July, the financial year, guys. So I know that what happens in football. But what also happens in football is that by the end of June, we should have a clarification, more or less, which players we're going for, which players are advanced, and which players are not. I personally thought Mbeumo would be done. I think that is done, but we're waiting, obviously, trying to save thing, of course. The fact it's only been 2 weeks. Yeah, exactly. Okay, last comment about Osimhen. I promise some fans want Gyökeres, some want this and that, but everyone wants Osimhen. Think of our Nigerian fans. Think of the rival they fear us. Absolutely. There you go, Helge. There you go. Signed, sealed, delivered from Helge, guys. Signed, sealed, delivered. Absolutely. Before night of Ajayi signings need to be done, of course they will. They will be. I would cut off my hair, Kenny, if they're not. Natty, remember they said do not Bruno money. They have to buy players, especially strikers. Whatever it takes is the most important. We can't be talking about money when we rejected 100 million for Bruno and we tried to keep Bruno, can we? We can't be talking about we're broke. I don't want to hear about we're broke. I don't want to hear. You know what I mean? I'm not interested in that anymore. They had a chance to make money. They didn't want to make money. Gyökeres scored only one header last season, and I put Overson over him. I will hate watch Gyökeres and Højlund. Join the club, George, because we will be right here, George, with you, my guy. We'll be right here at the end of the day. In Bremo, one football. Read it, bro. Fucked it. Big up, CT. One football. In Bremo, one football. Don't know what you're talking about, mate. Big up. Etige is not a bad player. We want him now, but we need experienced players. Yep, heard that one. Definitely. Sal, I hope Spurs are not on a Bremo deal anymore. Spurs are not getting in Bremo. Let me tell you, guys, I'm sacrificing myself. Once a player comes out and says that I want to sign for a certain club, it's very, very difficult for a player to then turn around and say, no, actually, I want to go to Man United. It's difficult. Absolutely. No, not another Chelsea player. Yeah, exactly. Lucky Singh talks too much, Kenny. He talks far too much, man. He writes about 20 comments. It just drives me mad. I'm literally like on an essay when I'm reading it, and none of it makes sense. Watkins could be a good stopgap if we miss out on the other players. It's not a bad option, Jim. Honestly, it's not a bad option. You know, I'm not his biggest fan this season. Obviously, he hasn't done as well as he did the previous season. But he's you know what? Having him in the squad is better than not having him, a player like that in the squad. He's proven he's done it in international level, scored in massive games as well. Remember the Holland game, you know. So it could happen, and I wouldn't be opposed to it. If it gets to the end of the window, for example, and we're really struggling to get strikers in there, Jim, then I'm going to say, you know what, get him, because we need goals at the end of the day, and he's proven to score goals, hasn't he? At the end of the day. Jim Lad, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. If we don't get Gyökeres, we need to go all out for Osimhen. I agree with that, Jim Lad. I agree with that, 100%. Osimhen is the next one. He's the next one at the end of the day. He's the next one. That's when I don't take people seriously, Rap Haven. That's exactly when I say, when people say Jackson, I don't bloody take you seriously, mate. Absolutely don't. You get blocked, mate. Honest to God, goodness me. If we don't get Osimhen, we should go for Emmanuel Kaderi. I have watched him play several times and a threat in the box and a good finisher. Johnson, well played, good striker. Good to see some new names there as well. And guys, I want to talk briefly about a striker that has been scouted by Manchester United. I mentioned him a few weeks ago. His name is Tolu Arokodere. Tolu Arokodere plays for KRC Genk. His surname is Arokodare. He is 18 million euros, guys. He's a striker from Nigeria. 4 caps for Nigeria, 1 goal, only 24 years old. KRC Genk, been scoring for fun this season. Been scoring for fun. Very, very decent player, prospect, and cheap. So strikers are around. Man United are looking at strikers. So Tolu Arokodere, if that's how you say it. Excuse me, apologies if I say it wrong. But that is the player that Man United could be going after, of course. So another player out there, another striker out there. Always mentioning new names, of course. He has been scouted by Manchester United. 80 million euros. He is 24-year-old. 20-odd goals this season for RKC Genk in about 40 appearances. So 1 in 2. Over 1 in 2. So that is something interesting to go ahead with, guys. Absolutely. Big up, Jim Lad. Randy. Mitrovic scores goals, and then you're eyeing him to be a teacher to Rasmus Obichido. Mitrovic is highly underrated, Randy. I tell you right now, mate. Mitrovic is highly underrated. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Absolutely. Rap Haven. I'd pay money for Osimhen if we get another good signings, and that's what I'm worried about. Haven, you have a good point, but didn't Ruben Amorim say that basically the window is not going to be this window? We're not going to sign everyone this window. I know what we need. I know we need a goalkeeper. I know that. Guys, here's an interesting one, right? If you moved Bruno into that number 10 position to play alongside Cunha, okay? If you moved him in that number 10 position, okay? Would you sign a goalkeeper instead? Would you bring in a goalkeeper instead? Would you, and instead of signing Bremo, so this is just hypothetically speaking, this is just, I'm just giving playing devil's advocate here. So basically, if we don't sign in Bremo, would you sign, would you not sign in Bremo and bring in a goalkeeper instead and a midfielder? Would you do that instead? Because that could be the case. Or, for example, a right wing back, you know, and a midfielder, something like that, or a goalkeeper and a right wing back instead of getting in Bremo. Would you do that? We should get them all, of course we should. But I'm just playing devil's advocate here, guys. Harold, Amram, and Anthony fell out. Yep, absolutely. Fair enough. If that case, so Anthony, big up Rap Haven, big up. Thank you so much for joining the stream, my guy. Hoyland accepted terms at Inter. Not yet, mate. Don't be fooled. Not yet, mate. Nothing at the moment. Emmy, what's going on? I just don't understand what Gyökeres thinks he's winning with Arsenal. He won't win the league, and City, Liverpool moving how they are a Champions League. I just don't get it. I don't get it either, Emmy. I mean, I've been racking my brains for days now, for the last 24 hours. Why does he want to go to Arsenal? Arsenal of all teams. He's not going to win anything. Why does he want to go to Arsenal? He's not going to win anything. You know, I've been racking my brains about it, you know, but, you know, let people do what they want to do. At the end of the day, Arsenal have not made a bid for him yet. So if he doesn't end up going to Arsenal, he's going to look like a bit of a prat, isn't he? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, absolutely. Ray Andy, what if Anthony apologised? Then we move on. But at the end of the day, I think we need the money from him. He don't suit the Premier League, Randy. He don't suit it. He's too slow. You remember when, guys, let me just give you an example. You remember when Batiste played Chelsea? What happened to Anthony there? I rest my case. Absolutely. We're easily defended against him. Easy. Emma, big up, Emmy. Big up. Anvish, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. How you doing, my friend? How are you doing this afternoon? I'm very well, Anvish. How are you doing? Good to see you, mate. Absolutely. This guy does too much. I'm sorry, Rap Haven. I didn't mean to. I haven't blocked him. I just put him on a timeout. He does too much, mate. I mean, he writes an essay every single time. I'm not here. I've left school 20 years ago. So, Steve, what is it with these players these days, Sal? Wanting to choose football clubs. I thought it was supposed to be the other way round. Teams going in for players. Steve, my guy. You see, this is generational from Steve. This is generational. Steve knows about the generations. Talking about my generation. Absolutely. Steve's talking about it. Absolutely. These players have got too much power. They got too much money. They're rich too soon. And they think they own the bloody football club. They think they own football at the end of the day. Absolutely. Big up, Rap Haven. Big up yourself. Emmy, the striker summit is stressful. We need Bremo. Here we go to keep our head cool. Emmy, you know what it is? Basically, we're going to get the ice bucket challenge, and we're going to put an ice bucket over us. But sooner or later, that ice will turn into heat again, and then we'll be angry again, looking for the next signing. We need a bloody goalkeeper, guys. We need a goalkeeper. What the F is happening with a goalkeeper? What's going on with the striker? What's going on with the midfielder, the right wing back? What's going on, guys? We need a defender. What's going on? You know what I mean? It's going to be like that. It doesn't last long, does it? Randy, if we get Bremo in, any striker will want to come. I agree. It'd be think, bro, do you have a contact for psychologists specialized in obsessive thoughts about Osman? I have realized I'm absolutely obsessed with the guy. Would be one of my favorite signings. You know what, Helge? I think I have symptoms that you have as well. I actually like the idea of this striker. I like the idea. It fills me with excitement. Fills me of like, oh yeah, you know what, Osman, you know, sell shirts, exciting. I got what you got, Helge. I think it's contagious. Absolutely. Big up, my guy. Big up. Emmy, we are broke, yet we could get an extra 100 million cop out. Man, this will be an interesting window. We are broke. Goodness me. We are broke last season. We can't sack Eric Ten Hag. We are broke. Oh, next thing, Eric Ten Hag sack. Ruben Amorim's in. Money, money, money. You know what I mean? We are broke. Reject 100 million for Bruno Fernandes. We are broke. You know what I mean? Apparently. You know what I mean? Bruno Fernandes said, I would have left if Man United didn't want me. 100 million for a 31-year-old. Whether you think he should have stayed or not, that's a different story. But there you go. Yale, Gyökeres got one of the most stupid agents in the business. He had a couple of too many drinks and spills the Gyökeres wants Arsenal information. Gyökeres did not want out, and now Arsenal look to reject him. If he gets rejected, Yale, by Arsenal, he's over. Gyökeres is gone. He's gone. He's gone out here. Tomorrow be gone. Tomorrow be gone. He'll be gone. Tomorrow's gone. Gyökeres gone tomorrow. No, he's not going to be playing for Man United. That's for sure. Because at the end of the day, he's got loose lips. His agent has got loose lips, and he's been talking too much. But let's wait and see what happens. Of course. Natty, is he mad in Bremer to go to Spurs? He's not to visit the stadium. Are you mad? Spurs, he will not go to visit the stadium. Are you mad? He's going to Man United, mate. Sorry to burst whoever said that's bubble. Is Højlund to Inter links real? Not at the moment, George. Not to say that Inter Milan haven't inquired about Højlund, but they haven't made a bid. They haven't made a bid yet, but they are interested in him. Rasmus Højlund done an Instagram post with his dog, and he basically only wrote on the Instagram post side eye. What does side eye mean? So Rasmus wrote on his Instagram post, he had his dog, and he said side eye. What does that mean? Is he looking at other clubs? We could twist it how we want to twist it, of course. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Helge, if we keep Rashi and Sancho and bring back Pogba, Martial, and Lukaku, we'll cook. To think there are thousands that think like that is criminal. I feel sorry for the cook baller people. Mate, they have a mental disease, mate. Unfortunately, we should just be feeling sorry for them. I should do a charity stream for them. That's what I should be doing, to be honest with you. I feel bad. George, Daniel Levy can't spend 70 million on Embremo, and they just sign Tell Embremo 35 million. Exactly, George. Embremo coming to United, mark my word. We've said it. I mean, it is pretty obvious he's going to Man United. Sometimes silence is golden. Sometimes silence speaks the loudest, in my opinion. And I think Man United are going to go hit us with Embremo. Embremo is done. Here we go. Embremo is done. Then we're moving on to the striker. I hope. Absolutely. CT. Basically, Sal, OneFootball is a football app. Oh, yes. The football app, one app. Yes. They sponsor streams and stuff. Gets all the latest news and transfers. Last night it said we have started looking at Justin Kluivert. And today it's saying we have started to have doubts. CT. I spoke about Justin Kluivert many, many weeks ago. Let me tell you something, CT, all right? My sources are greater than OneFootball, all right? The thing is, right, Justin Kluivert has been on Man United's wish list for about 6 months, a year. Man United are fully aware of Justin Kluivert. They look at these streams, I swear to you, they look at my stream and they say, oh, Justin Kluivert, oh, this, and then they write something silly. Who they run by? Who's their link? What I would say at the end of the day. They're a OneFootball app. They just spread football news and they copy football news. That's what they do at the end of the day. Don't read in too much in OneFootball. It's not reliable. Absolutely. Emmy, could Dominic Calvert-Lewin benefit from Embremo? Couldn't link up. Dominic Calvert-Lewin needs to stop buying purses and then he can start having a link up. Absolutely. Emmy, nah, not that handbag, man. Kenny, you think like me. As soon as I said that, Kenny says the same thing. There you go. Looking at Semenyo and another player. Let's wait and see. Don't worry about that. Don't listen to the news. Don't drown out the news, guys. Your guys are very poor of his head. I agree with that. He's poor at everything nowadays. We're going to be picking the bones out of your carriers this next few months. Of course. Suspense is killing me. There you go. Smash the likes and subscribe. Thank you so much, Natty. Big up yourself. Respect Bruno and Casemiro. Big up Amir. Goalkeeper and Douglas Luiz to take that 8 role. Well, let's wait and see. Definitely not swapping him. We need the money. Helge, everyone in the chat and those who are watching, make sure you do actually like the video. At least you can do for the hard work for the GOAT puts in. Thank you, my brother Helge. You're the GOAT. It's easy to take things for granted and forget to like. Thank you so much, Helge. Really appreciate you, mate. Really, really appreciate you, mate. Good to see you, mate. Of course. Good conundrum, but I'll bring in Embremo. We need goals. And Bremer's a Man United player. I'm gonna put my head on the line, guys. I'm putting my head on the line. You know what? I put my head on the line. I give my head to you at the end of the day. And he is gonna be a Manchester United player very, very soon. All right, and then we'll be all right. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Rap Haven. It's really good to talk to you. Of course, first time I've seen you here, Rap Haven. Window only open next month. Don't panic. Absolutely. Exactly. Respect the Ruben Amram, big up Amir, and big up Joel. Genghis Khan. What's going on, Genghis? How are you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hope everything is blessed with you, brother. Both Cunha and Bremo could start as a striker. These two guys are the key to success next year. I wouldn't do that. I'm sorry, but I wouldn't do that, Yale. And I'll tell you why. Because we miss out on the creativity. I wouldn't do that. They don't play that for Brentford and only played a few times. We buy a striker. Let's not get that. Let's not do that. That's just square pegs and round holes again. If Arsenal sign Sesko, we get Osimhen and Gyökeres stays at Sporting. It's absolutely love that. I want Mbeumo, Cunha, and a striker. That's what I want. I don't want none of this bull crap unless we got an injury. I don't want none of this rubbish where let's play Cunha there and Cunha. It's not his favourite position. It's not his best position, you know? Big up, George. Who do you think will be an unexpected exit this summer that isn't obvious? I don't know, you know. Onana. But I don't know. I really don't know. I think obviously Garnacho's, there's not many players that, you know, an unexpected to be honest, an unexpected leaving of someone leaving the football club is someone like Sancho, because many people don't believe that Sancho's going to be leaving the football club. So that's something. Sal, what's going on, my friend? How you doing? Sal, I'm not joking when I say it. I get a boner just imagine it in Mbeumo, Cunha and Osimhen up front. I mean, bloody hell, holy hell. Absolutely. There you go, Sal. It has to be a good sign though, isn't it? It has to be a good sign. Absolutely. Big up, Sal. Absolutely. Take a second to and imagine Osimhen's first goal at Old Trafford and him holding up the mask screaming Stretford end. Goosebumps. I must stop. I understand. It's unhealthy to pick up. Hell, don't get your hopes too high. Don't get your hopes too high, okay? Don't do too much at the end of the day. Guys. Emmy, the best thing about Osimhen is that he doesn't tolerate ball. Yeah. And if you cross him, he will slap you. If you don't pass, he'll cuss you out and pull your ear. And you know what I would say, Emmy? To be honest with you, this is exactly what we need. This is exactly what we need. We need a Tevez, a Rooney, a Keane. We need them guys, you know, a Cantona. We need them people. Why are you not passing to me, bro? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? You know what I mean? We need that, guys. We need that kind of thing. Bloody hell, don't we?
Come closer. What is the sound of one hand clapping?
I don't know. What is the sound of one?
If you don't pass the ball, we know what's going to happen. You're going to hear the hand of one. You're going to hear the noise of one hand clapping, guys. And that is what it's going to be at the end of the day. And if you don't pass in the ball,
fuck off.
That's what's going to happen. Osimhen's going to be like,
fuck off.
That's what's going to happen. You don't give the ball. That is what's going to happen, guys. Absolutely. Absolutely. So got to be careful with that. Absolutely, guys. Absolutely. You know, don't forget, it's all about the Glazers. Always Glazers out, guys, of course.
Morning, lads. Just on my way to burn Old Trafford down and get them Yank bastards out, you gets me. Job done, lads. They will never take me alive.
Got away, lads. That was some motherfucking running by me, you gets me. Anyway, fuck the Glazers.
There we go, guys. Anvesh, Sal, would you take Mateta 35 billion? 35 billion, yeah, I would, but I think he's going to be worth a lot more than that, my friends. Anvesh, Spurs just signed a French pop spoke with. Yeah, they signed obviously signed Tell, of course. Can't you tell? Big up to the dish at the end of the day. Tell has been confirmed. They bought 35 million. They're not going to buy anyone else, are they? You know what Daniel Levy's like. He don't spend much money, does he? Big up Natty. Big up everyone, of course. Big up Miles. Hope you're doing well. Hello, Sal. If the player does not want the club, there will always be someone else. God bless you, brother. Great work as always. Big up Miles. Absolutely spot on. And again, logic from Miles, of course, guys. Logic from Miles all the way, guys. Absolutely. Yeah, he's just a football creator, mate. Yeah. You know what? I'm not going to fall out of football, One Football, because they should be sponsoring this show. They sponsor all those dead shows out there. They should be sponsoring this show, One Football. One Football, you need to look at this community, the best community there is. One Football need to sponsor Stretford Post with all that nonsense. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, Kluivert is not a number 10, and he never played as a number 10. He's a winger, like Semenyo. Evan Nelson is a striker. I like him, but Cunha is a left at the midfield. Mbeumo's on the other side. All spots are taken, Helge. Absolutely. And you know what the great thing about Cunha? And you know the great thing about Mbeumo? They're two-footed. Way. They're two-footed, guys. Absolutely, they're two-footed. Jengus. Tell us bang average at best and Bremo levels, bruv. Absolutely, bruv. Absolutely, mate. Harvey, I think Man United should sign Wisa. Heard a few people saying that. Heard a few people saying that. Well, we're gonna get the Brentford link up, isn't it? Is Anthony and Douglas Luiz swap true? No. I'd rather take the money for Anthony and get someone else. And Bremo's 19. He's coming home. And Bremo 19, number 19. Number 19. By the way, Cunha's taking the number 10, isn't he? Cunha's going to be taking the number 10. So what does that mean about Marcus Rashford at the end of the day? Thank you so much, Amir. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. You're very welcome, mate. You're very welcome. Everyone is welcome on this stream. Unless you're Lucky Singh, who likes to write 100 messages to me and just block out the whole thing without even actually making any sense. But there you go. Each to their own. Absolutely. Sorry, Lucky Singh, but, you know, I mean, I had to ban you, mate. Did you see the Onana video? It gave me so much hope. What about your future? Yeah, I mentioned it earlier, Helge. Sorry, I'm getting into the chats a bit late, of course. Afternoon, Mark. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Even, what's going on? We are finished, man. Honestly, I don't even think the Bremo deal is certain. There's basically no other world-class strikers for us to buy. Will be another project. Big up, Even. I don't agree. And Bremo's done. Osimhen is world-class. Sal. People forget that Osimhen was a menace at Serie A. I remember, at Napoli, everyone wanted him back. Not even Gyökeres has the goal scoring mentality. Absolutely. Osimhen ain't coming to us. Who's your sauce, even? Who's your sauce? Barbecue sauce? Tomato ketchup? What's your sauce? Mayonnaise? Garlic sauce? Think it's shit sauce. Sal, last night, big up yourself. Big up everyone. Asna. He's an Asna fan. Even with a name like Even, it's got to be, isn't it? You know, at the end of the day. Might be even Tony. You never know. I think one of the biggest problems is finding buyers for Sancho and Onana. It is, you know. It definitely is. Rashi and Freedom will be difficult to get rid of. Those guys are going to stink around the club for last week. It's going to be difficult to get rid of them. Absolutely, Randy. Absolutely, guys. AI is getting too much. It's getting dangerous. It's getting dangerous, mate. They captured my bet. They captured my good side there as well. Absolutely. The Glazer video. Big up, my friend. Big up, guys. Big up. Sal, why don't I work in comedy? I've always been comedy subject. I've always been comedy. I've always been a comedian deep down. I've worked with comedians. I've worked with Omid Jalili. I used to do events and stuff. I've worked with a few comedians in my time, of course. Goon. Hey, Sal, you're curious to be another Demiria. He chooses to come over us. There you go. Big up myself, Gion. Good to see you. Let's wait and see, innit? Let's wait and see, you know, at the end of the day. Even Osman playing in Turkey, so the United you step up. What are you talking about? I think he's had one too many. Been watching Asna too much. City next year will win it. Bear, Stat, Cherky, Foden, Savio, Doku. My money is on them. Let's wait and see, even. That's what I would say, brother. Not trying to smash, but credit where credit is due. You are both the most reflective, smartest channel around MU, but also the funniest. You always make me crack up. Thank you, Helge. And you're one of the best. You guys are the best community I can ever hope for. And I really appreciate it. There's a lot of people coming in and want to annoy me. I am easily irritated by people with their bull crap. And as are you, Helge. We've spoken. You know, I am easily irritated, but I am trying to work out my anger management. I'm trying to get Jack Nicholson around to calm my anger. But you know what? At the end of the day, we are family here, and we like to have a laugh as well, because you can only laugh. If we moan, we're just going to, just smile whilst you still have teeth at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Even when the Champions League football, we will never be on United's level. The Prem's the place to be. What's the point of being in the Champions League if you never bloody win it? Why are you going to do that? Why are you going to be in the Champions League for 100 years? You're wasting electricity. You're being in the Champions League 100 years, you never win it. Why? We won it 3 times, but why you never won it? Why are you so good, but Arsenal never won the Champions League? Why? Why is it Galatasaray never won the Champions League? Why is that? Can someone explain to me why that is? Why did Man City need billions and billions to win the Champions League? You know, I don't understand. Sauce. Wallahi, we are finished. Big up. Shout out Lee Cotton. Yeah, Lee Cotton all day long. When you're Man United, you always be given priority and players. We're one of the biggest clubs in the world, man. People don't understand that. People are just in denial. Soul. Big up yourself. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Absolute diamonds, legends. Chatterbox as usual is an absolute madness. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Don't forget to smash a like on the video. Don't forget to please smash a subscribe as well if you're new. Even if you don't like me, still push the subscription button. I'm up for a debate, guys. I don't take things too seriously. I have thick skin. Who do you want to win? First day, second to play. I don't. West Ham, Spurs, Burnley, Brentford. Who do you want on the first day? West Ham, Spurs, Burnley, Brentford, Burnley. Barbecue sauce. You're mental, mate. Hell, barbecue, mate. That is it. That is his sauce, mate. Barbecue sauce. Definitely. You know, coriander. You know, was it Peronaise dip? Have you ever heard of Peronaise, the Agent Peronaise dip? Peronaise dip is the one. You know what? Here we go. Here we dip. I'm going to start doing that. Here we dip. Manchester United has signed in Bremo. Here we dip. It's a bit like Peronaise. You know what I mean? Peronaise. He could be going to Peronaise FC. He's not going to Peronaise FC. He's going to Manchester United. Here we dip. And I'm going to dip, guys. Basically, that means I'm going to go now. But thank you, everyone, for joining me. Have a great day, great night, great evening, great morning, great mid-afternoon, wherever you are in the world, even if you're fast asleep with this on. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. And I'll see you tomorrow for Breaking Dawn. But also, don't forget to put your notifications on because I might go live if anything breaks, guys. Absolutely. And remember, keep it Stretford Post, guys. Keep it Stretford Post. We don't want any soggy biscuits, guys. No soggy biscuits. All right? No soggy biscuits. We don't want none of that. We know what soggy biscuit means. But guys, have a great day. Enjoy yourself. And remember, keep it Stretford Post, yeah? See you later. Peace.